Hey guys, Luke Wilson here bringing you another early offseason outlook. This time it's Saquon Barkley. So despite the Danny Dimes regression in 2023 that many of us knew was coming, and the Giants spending pretty much the latter half of the season focusing on the Tommy DeVito pluckiness narrative to try and distract the fans from the putrescence of the offense, Barkley still managed to overcome the mountain of stacked boxes that he was seeing to eke past 1,200 total yards and get to something like a running back 12, running back 13 finish in your fantasy league, depending on your scoring. This was in large part because of a late season touchdown binge that saw him find pay dirt 5 times from weeks 14 through 18. So his 2024 outlook broadly would seem to be holding steady. And yet I knew I needed to move this video up on the list after the last couple weeks of the fantasy Twitter echo chamber seems to have convinced the majority of the fantasy football community that Saquon is already either a Texan or a Charger, period. That's what's happening. And sure, yeah, absolutely. Saquon might elect not to return to the Giants in free agency, and the Texans, the Chargers, those would be incredibly tantalizing potential landing spots for him. Heck, really, any landing spot other than the Giants would be tantalizing by comparison. That's what this is really all about. Is we're so sick of Saquon being trapped in this New York Giants offense that we're just writing all this fan fiction to help him escape. The problem here is that it doesn't really make sense, guys. Okay, the Giants, who just franchise tagged Barkley in 2023, can turn right around and do it for a second year in a row for a relatively small upcharge of like an extra couple $1 million, okay? Guys, the salary cap for 2024 has increased over $30 million, okay? Do the math. Joe Schoen and Brian Dabble are holding on for dear life, trying to survive one more year of the Daniel Jones debacle contract in New York with their jobs intact. And letting Saquon Barkley walk in free agency for nothing would absolutely result in Giants fans standing outside Giants headquarters with colorfully worded fans held over their heads for the next several days. That's 100% likelihood. It would just make no sense at all for the Giants, who have nothing else going on in this offense at all right now. Sure, yeah, maybe they take Malik Neighbors in the draft. That would make plenty of sense. NFL free agency opens before the NFL draft, guys, okay? So they have to make this decision knowing what they know right now. And really, Schoen has already basically admitted through the press that the franchise tag is coming again for Barkley in all likelihood if they once again cannot come to terms with Saquon Barkley on a contract. So yes, sorry guys, sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, but you definitely need to not be sending trade offers, not be trading for Saquon Barkley with visions of him going over 2,000 yards from scrimmage with C.J. Stroud and the rest of this exciting Texans offense in 2024. That's very unlikely to happen from where I'm sitting right now, I'm sorry to say. But I will say, I want to remind you all, Saquon remains one of the steadiest presences at fantasy's most volatile position. He just turned 27 years old. I think he has 3 high-quality, high-volume seasons left in him before we really start to see him wear down and slow down. And with the price tag to go get him for draft picks in dynasty leagues right now hovering around like a middle late to late first-round pick in 2024, I think that's a fine price to go get a guy who is a known commodity, very stable. He can give your running back position on your roster a lot of stability right now for potentially 2-3 more seasons. I think that's pretty attractive. So even when Saquon winds up back with the Giants in 2024, I ain't gonna be mad at him, and I certainly won't hesitate to throw something like a middle second round pick at him in redraft leagues this summer either. The early offseason outlook for Saquon Barkley, it's close, but he is a buy.